Doesn't he realize that even chicks must leave the nest eventually? He's not doing that fledgling any favors.
True. True. Very true. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, take the child and then just throw him in the pool, tell him to swim. How else are they going to learn, right? You throw them into the den of wolves and then tell them, hey, good luck. Pit of snakes? I mean, just don't get poisoned. Easy. Get good. Money? Just don't be poor, man. Greetings, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, all you weirdos who clicked on this video. We are back with Vinland Saga, episode 13. Previously on episode 12, as Askeladd and his men were being chased by Thorkell, they managed to get a ride across the river, or not river, fucking, I don't even know what they call it, like a big river, I guess, big fucking body of water, to the shore on the other side, and managed to escape Thorkell and his men, with the promise that once the prince becomes king, there will be a non-aggression pact. Now, not everyone is thrilled about this promise, and I would imagine that's why they got ambushed in the last episode. We also actually had the prince say his first words. Oh my god, he did. Yes, they grow up so fast. Unfortunately, when confronted by a person, the prince was immediately like super shy and could not face the person head on and talk to them himself for some reason. I'm still very, very sus about the prince. Something's just off about him. I don't know what it is. We also had a couple of, like, I want to say, not flashbacks, but like kind of quick flashes to certain characters, like flash to Sigvaldi, I believe, sitting on his throne, fat and ugly. And then we had a flash to the guy in the beginning of the story who was like telling stories to the kids, right? Who was there when Thor's died and was kind of the merchant, right? The trader. And he seems to be, you know, regretting his decisions and being frustrated about what happened. And that made me think that most likely we are going to run into that character. You know, we as in like Askeladd, Thorfinn, and the prince, and, you know, the group that we're following is probably going to run into the merchant at some point soon, I think. Either that, or they're going to like cut to the merchant, because the merchant is going to have his own like little storyline that will then maybe connect to Thorfinn somehow eventually. Because I feel like they wouldn't just be showing this one character for no reason. Son of a legend. The fuck is going on here?
My mother, she die soon. She tell me she want come home. I bring her here.
So what's going on here?
The resistance in Wessex has been dealt with. Our forces have subdued them. It's only a matter of time before we control the entire region. If all goes well, the battle will be over by the first snowfall.
Where's Canute? Tell me what happened out there.
Right. The army led by Prince Canute was defeated. Thorkell the Tall is formidable. We've had no word from them since. But there were rumors of a skirmish in Marlborough. It's possible His Highness is with that contingent. But we can't be certain he's safe. My apologies.
That boy is my beloved son. You will report to me as soon as you know his whereabouts.
Yes, sire.
Yeah, this is where we left off. They are royally fucked. No cover against archers.
How? I knew this would happen. I tried to warn him. They're dead.
All of you, calm down. I don't want anyone to return fire. Do not engage. Hello, people of Braheniog. We were hoping for a warmer welcome.
Stand down. There is no benefit to Wales if you elect to antagonize the Danes.
Gratianus! Respectfully, even though I greatly appreciate your concern for the future of all the kingdoms of Wales, our methods for securing that future appear to be quite different. What are they offering you? Tell me what promises the Danish prince has made. They're savages. They cannot be trusted.
It's interesting how they have so much information, that knowing that the prince is here already.
They won't. They didn't come here for a battle. Those arrows could have felled much more than a single horse. They just want to intimidate us. That way they're in control of the negotiations.
I know all about what you've done in England as well, with your never-ending war. Over the past 10 years now, you've agreed to a ceasefire 3 times, and every time you have broken that pact. We will not make the same mistakes as the English. We'll capture the prince and use him as our shield. Swain may be the king of demons, but surely even he loves his son.
It's fine. This is all an act. They're only putting on a show to see how we respond.
What will you do then? Share your plan with them?
That's one possibility. But if they want a show, why don't we try humoring them first? All of you, look closely! The man who stands before you is heir to the throne of King Sweyn of Denmark, His Highness Prince Canute. Now,
Honestly?
the Prince has a few words.
So I kind of understand, right? But why has he not put the helmet back on? I feel like he would look so much more badass and intimidating with the helmet back on. I get why, most likely because the anime was like, hey, we want to show this character's face now, right? We revealed his face, and now we want to keep showing his face. It's like same thing why they constantly have like Spider-Man or basically wasn't there a fucking movie about like Master Chief? I have no idea about Master Chief, by the way. I didn't have consoles growing up, so I didn't play any of those games. So I have no idea about Master Chief or Halo or, you know, anything like that. But even I know that, you know, Master Chief, like, he never took off his helmet, right? Like, that's the character, basically, right? But didn't they, like, make a movie and then immediately take off his helmet? It's kind of like once they take off the helmet and have that reveal, they just want to have the helmet off all the time. Because it was like, you know, the prince had the helmet on all the time. Even inside, when he was in the tent, praying to Jesus, right? He had the helmet on. But then, you know, Askeladd was like, hey, if I'm going to be protecting you, I would like to, you know, gaze upon your face at least once. And then he took the helmet off, and now he just kept the helmet off. Why? Why is he now showing his face to anybody he sees, right? And it's like, I feel like he could just put the helmet back on and not show that he is intimidated.
I'd like you all to hear. Listen and take heed. Now, Highness, could you say something spirited? Just about anything would do.
I feel like Askeladd, I mean, maybe what he's trying to do is get the prince more used to things, but this is a pretty delicate situation, and I feel like he would know that the prince is not ready for this.
You know, something that would strike fear into the hearts of these scoundrels. Coming from you, that'll shrivel up their balls and open the path right up.
Like I said. Like I said.
His Highness prefers never to speak when he's in front of other people. I serve as his
Not this time, Ragnar.
What's that?
I understand His Highness is young, but as the prince, he has a duty to fulfill.
And he dislikes meaningless battles.
Yes, and that's what I'm talking about. To avoid a senseless show of violence, we just need him to say a few words. If he never learns how to talk, How can he be expected to know how to rule one day?
Silence!
He's not wrong.
Hold your tongue. What do you know of His Highness? The palace is a den of wolves, where family members devour each other. The prince has always been of poor health. You have no idea how difficult it was for him to endure it. He kept...
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Ultimately, like, you being incompetent cannot be excused by saying that you have had a bad childhood. You actively choosing not to take advantage of opportunities is your own fault, right? You choosing not to learn or get better or not do something is you choosing not to do something. It's completely up to you, right? Your childhood trauma means nothing, pretty much. Like, yes, you might struggle with fear, sure, right? There's of course the element of fear, but your unwillingness to learn and improve yourself is ultimately your own fault. Like, you can't. It's like the exact same thing where it's like, you know, people talk about serial killers, right? Like, oh, you know, this serial killer, you know, was abused as a child, and they had a horrible childhood, and that's why they are the way they are. No. No one fucking cares that a serial killer had a bad childhood. The fact of the matter remains that they are killing people as a serial killer. No one fucking cares. They chose to start killing. There's always a choice.
He had to survive that place. And after all of his struggles, now he has to put up with men like you, always coming around to try and take advantage of him.
What's the matter? Is there some sort of disagreement? Does Prince Canute wish to speak or not?
Gratianus, I'm going to let them in on the plan.
Right. Good idea. Then I'll join you.
Listen up, men. Stand by. I'm heading over there to negotiate with their leader. Ragnar. I want to apologize. In my concern for the prince's safety, I overstepped my place, and I shouldn't have.
You're pathetic. Are you honestly the same age as I am?
Doesn't he realize that even chicks must leave the nest eventually? He's not doing that fledgling any favors.
True. True. Very true. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, take the child and then just knock them into the pool, right? Like kick them in the back of the head, and then you know, tell them to swim, right? Throw them in the pool, tell them to swim. How else are they going to learn, right? You throw them into the den of wolves, and then tell them, hey, good luck. Pit of snakes? I mean, just don't get poisoned. Easy, you know? Get good. Money? Just don't be poor, man. What are you, poor or something?
So, Askeladd was it? I understand your position, but you're putting a bit of a burden on me.
We had an agreement, didn't we?
Well, you did send a letter requesting safe passage and supplies for your men, yes. What can we expect to receive in return for granting you such favors? I must ensure that this transaction is in our best interests. After all, our king doesn't want his subjects to think him afraid of a mere 100 Danes.
I understand that. I suppose it wouldn't look too good for you if you just accepted every one of our demands.
Yet still, I have to ask you, why the need for secrecy?
Before I answer this, I need to know that if I reveal the details of what I'm offering you, you're not going to go to war against us. Are you, Asser?
I can only assume that you're kidding. If we were to take up arms against the King of Denmark, we know a country as small as ours wouldn't stand a chance.
I mean, aside from the fact that he's from Denmark, he doesn't tell me a damn thing. He keeps his distance. I've been with him for over a decade, but we don't really discuss much.
You're an awfully big man to be crying over that, aren't you? Who cares? He's a good leader, and he's got luck on his side. If he keeps making me rich, I'll keep on following him, whatever his story is.
That's very difficult for me to believe, but it would be quite the lie.
Askeladd is the son of Lady Lydia. Whether you believe it or not, he has the blood of all the great Roman Celtic leaders running through his veins.
Lydia? Isn't that the woman who swore to carry my burdens?
I'm both Danish and Welsh. My father was Olaf. He once plundered the coasts of Wales.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected.
He then claimed Lydia as his mistress. That's how I came to be.
But the bloodline of the old Britannia war heroes died out. At least that's what we believed. Does that mean you're a descendant of Artorius? Do you have any proof? Any evidence that would support this claim?
My word. When he was only 14 years old, I met him the first time he came to Wales. He was carrying Lydia on his back.
Ah, so that's what this was.
She was a very unlucky woman. My father had her locked away inside his bedroom, then moved her into the stable when she fell ill. My mixed blood makes me valuable. Allows me to blend in with them. Because of that, Wales has an inside man making a name for himself in the Danish army. And if I can ensure that little fool is the next king of Denmark, I'll be able to influence his decisions. Which means I'll get him to sign a treaty of non-aggression with Wales that he won't break. I promise. I won't ever let those bastards set one foot in this land.
Incredible! You're a bold one. You think you can deliver on that promise?
Asser's laughing in his face.
What? Welsh blood or not, you were born and raised a Dane. How can we be certain that Artorius' blood runs thicker in your veins than that of your father?
Bruh. Bruh.
I suppose you'll just have to take my word for it. But setting all my heritage aside, I swear, I hate the people of Denmark.
I've definitely, like, I'm loving this episode. Askeladd always felt to me like a character that I just, like, something was missing, right? And I said as much, like, a couple of episodes ago where I talked about Askeladd, like, something always felt missing. Like, there was a void, you know? Like, I didn't know what Askeladd's, like, motivation was. Like, something was weird or missing from his character, right? This is the void, right? Like, this is exactly what I was, like, thinking of, basically. You know? Like, there's some sort of secret that he is hiding. And I would love to know why he hates the Danes.
Pretend like we're their prisoners. As soon as we cross the border, we'll get them all back. A small favor to let them save face. Hey, Thorfinn, your weapon.
Not a chance, old man.
What's that about trust?
This one's a bit different, the little runt.
Make no mistake, Conehead. I have no loyalty to this geezer. We're enemies.
Your enemies?
All right. You two are exempt. No one will notice. I'm sure they'll look past it.
I'm not gonna lie. Another thing that I really am enjoying is how little they're putting the focus on Thorfinn. Learning more about Askeladd and this conflict and, you know, the plan with the prince and Askeladd and Askeladd's inheritance, I guess. We haven't really, you know, like, Thorfinn has not really been the center of the show for a while, right? For a little while. By center of the show, I mean, like, what we are focusing on. Like, yeah, last episode we had that kind of, like, moment where he ran in and then saved the prince, right? And then had a little talk with Thorkell. But mainly we're kind of like shifting the focus from Thorfinn and constantly showing Thorfinn to now showing Askeladd and his and some of the other characters as well. You know, not really making it about Thorfinn anymore. And honestly, I'm actually loving it. I think if they continue doing this, in the long run, this will be better for the show.
You can stop gawking now, princess. If you have something to say, use that pretty mouth of yours. Or have you lost your tongue, huh?
I don't stay silent because I'm a coward. I'm trying to be cautious, that's all. I have to, because I'm the prince. I can't be careless with my words like the rest of you.
True.
Because my words can have political repercussions. Even more so in a foreign land.
True.
Without my father's...
He's actually completely right. Like, okay, so... how do I say this? There's a difference between not speaking and making a mistake when speaking. It is true that sometimes it's better to just not speak at all in case you make a mistake. But, I mean, you're the fucking prince. Like, you can't just not speak ever, right? Being able to identify when you should just be like, no comment, that's the skill that he needs to learn. Because you can speak, it's just that you have to identify when you should shut the fuck up. But he is right in the sense that very important people influence a lot of things. There's a reason why, for instance, as an example, you will probably never see a president of a country going on record to say, oh, I think McDonald's sucks ass, or I think McDonald's is really bad, or something like that. There's a reason why you never see presidents or anyone who's really, really big in like politics and stuff like that. There's a reason why you never see them have like personal opinions. Their opinion will influence others, right? Their opinion people look to for guidance, especially in those times, right? So you can, the smallest thing you say can be essentially used against you. So he's not wrong in that, but to never speak at all is kind of like, okay, now you're kind of pushing it, right? You, not speaking is the same as also saying something, because you not speaking can be taken, especially in these days, in these ages, can be taken as cowardice.
Mission. I can't offer treaties or make any bold statements because it wouldn't be right. I just have to be cautious.
That actually isn't too terrible of an excuse. Well, good for you then, princess. You are smart.
How dare you! You brazen! Never in my life has anyone shown me such disrespect and been so insolent!
Good learning experience then.
Take it back right now! That's no excuse! You could never understand how hard a royal life is!
Stop shouting and sit your ass down.
I am not shouting! I'm simply ensuring that my words are not being misunderstood!
Great, I hear you loud and clear.
You! Why are you so impudent? Who do you
His
think
Highness
you're speaking to?
is speaking to someone other than me.
Oh my god, he is. And I wonder why, because this guy will, you know, this Thorfinn guy just does not give a fuck, right? And that's all the prince needed. To have someone just disagree and not coddle him. I'm not gonna lie, I love the sound design in this in the show, especially the music. The very atmospheric music. Very basic, but it just sets the mood
Askeladd,
very well.
Why are we not moving any faster? At this rate, we're all going to be frozen in ice.
We'll travel across the northern edge of Mercia, then reunite with the main force in Gainsborough, and arrive a week earlier.
You're going to take us through enemy territory?
If we spend too long in the mountains, we could be snowed in. We'd be trapped in Wales. Look, there's nothing to worry about. We won't go near the enemy's stronghold.
Yes, but what about provisions? The feudal lords in this region aren't going to offer a helping hand to Danes.
It'll be just fine. All accounted for.
By that he means we're gonna raid some of the nearby villages. Oh, fuck me. Just want to keep watching. I want to binge so hard. Okay, well, all it took for the prince to start speaking a little bit more, you know, a little bit more often is Thorfinn's douchebaggery toward him. I guess maybe, like, I expected a little bit more from the prince, not gonna lie, but maybe they're doing the thing where, you know, this character, it's kind of like the Armin situation from Attack on Titan, right? Someone who is really kind of pathetic, right? But then over time they become stronger and they get their confidence and so on and so forth, right? I wonder if Askeladd knew that this would happen by putting Thorfinn as his bodyguard. I also wonder, like, for instance, this guy, right? Can they even trust this guy? I don't think so. I sense that something will happen with this guy, like he will betray them. I think his eyebrows are just too big for him not to be a traitor and betray them by telling the plan to other people. It's the eyebrows. 100% is the eyebrows. I also think that them changing course and going through enemy territory, I mean, they didn't say it, but like, what about supplies, right? They're probably gonna raid nearby villages. Let's just say I don't think the prince is gonna like that. Or Ragnar here. With all the atmospheric music and this kind of like dark weather, you know, where it starts snowing and everything, it feels like we're approaching a storm. Right? Like we haven't had like a big moment in the show yet. We've had battles, of course, but like we haven't had a big moment, if that makes sense. We're around like the halfway point of the first season, I think. I think the first season has 24 episodes, yeah. I feel like we're about to have some sort of a big moment again, but I guess we'll see whether or not this big moment happens in the next episode. I have to say I love this episode. So far, it has been one of my favorite episodes, I think, mainly because we learned more about Askeladd and stuff. How much of that is Askeladd still fucking around and lying? I don't know. There's ultimately still no proof, necessarily, that that woman, Lydia, was his mother. Sure, he came to shore carrying her, but like, maybe they were both prisoners, and they started talking to each other, and then, you know, Askeladd, as a teen, I guess, like, rescued her when they were escaping imprisonment or something, and then she ended up dying. And then he was like, oh yeah, I'm the son of Lydia, or whatever, you know, like, there's no actual proof that they are blood related, so, you know, I'm a little bit sus on that, but mainly because with Askeladd, you never really know what's a lie and what's not. But yeah, that was episode 13 of Vinland Saga, and until next time, I shall bid you adieu, ladies and gentlemen.